Hello, everyone. Hey. Welcome to another virtual happy hour with Afro-Vegan Society. And today is all about the comfort food and the appetizers. So we're going to be making some super delicious drinks and apps for you today. We already have 23 people tuning in. Amazing. That's awesome. We are in the house tonight. So if you are watching Afro-Vegan Society's virtual happy hour, go ahead, check in, say hello, let us know where you're watching from, let us know if you're sipping on anything good, if you have any apps or takeout with you, or you cook something up at home. Happy Friday, everybody. So I'm Jessica, and I feel like y'all are getting to know us at this point, but should we go ahead and introduce ourselves again for any new viewers we might have today?
Sure. And I'm also Jamila. I'm Jamila, the director of marketing.
I'm Jasmin.
Wonderful. So, Jamila, do you want to start off telling us what you're going to be making today?
Absolutely. And to tell you the truth, this is actually one of my favorite foods. And I've always loved them before I went vegan. So I always like to veganize them myself. And it is chili cheese dog. So that sounds like something very simple. But when you make a loaded chili cheese dog, you put your heart and your soul into it. You don't just make one and just put any type of thing in it. So I have all the fixings that I like to enjoy that I would love to share with y'all today.
Wonderful. And what are you making today, Jasmine?
Yep, so today I'm going to make my cookies and cream milkshake, and then I'm going to be doing fried apple poppers.
Mm.
Yum. And today I'm going to be making a strawberry banana frosty to get things started. And then I'm going to be making some loaded tater tots. So I used to love getting the loaded potato skins when I went to Applebee's, like when I was younger and stuff. And so I thought, like, this is a super easy way to get those flavors and textures at home. So I'm going to be using tater tots and loading them up with some delicious vegan cheese, smoky mushroom bits, and a very simple homemade sour cream. So with that said, Jamila, are you ready to take it away, showing us how to make your drink today?
Absolutely. Let's get started, y'all. Okay, great. So obviously, when you make a chili cheese dog, if that's your type of thing, you want to start with boiling your hot dog or your vegan hot dog. So right here today, I had something that was accessible to me at my local market, and it is the Smart Dogs, the plant-based hot dogs from Light Life. I love Light Life because they always have like a great type of tempeh or any type of bacon, and I just love their stuff. It's pretty simple. They don't add too many ingredients, so you pretty much know what you're getting into. So I have a little pot of water here boiling. It's pretty much at a full boil, so I'm going to be putting in 2 hot dogs. Of course, I could just do one, but I'm also trying to make some for my boo, so I don't want to be selfish. I know he would like some as well. So I'm just opening this up, and just simply, if you don't boil your hot dogs, no problem. If you microwave them, no judgment. I'm having a little issue with my opening the package a little bit, so I'm going to cut it right here. And they're not like huge bratwurst or Italian sausage like what you would see from Beyond sausages. They're nice and like small little typical hot dog things. So I'm not going to be boiling them too long, and they're not going to be cooking too long. So I'll put them right into my pot. And hello to everyone that just joined. Thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Friday. So yes, now I put on my hot dogs, my Light Life hot dogs on the boiler. Just to show y'all what that looks like really quick. Nice boiled water. About, I would probably say almost 2 cups I put it on there. And I have it on high heat. Now that I have it on the burner, I don't have to do the most by keeping it on high heat. So I'm going to turn it down to low. And if you are somebody that likes to make it a little bit quicker, you can also just keep it on medium, but I would not recommend leaving it on high. You do not want to cook these hot dogs for very long. If anything, these hot dogs should stay refrigerated, which means to me that they're a little bit on the softer side. They're very temperature sensitive. So you want to make sure you put that back in your fridge and to not cook this for so long. So I'm going to be monitoring that. And as I do that, I believe I have to keep it in there for about 7 minutes, just in case. Let's just check. But yep, about 7 minutes. So now that I already had it in there for a couple of minutes, I'm going to put on my kitchen timer. If you have a kitchen timer, good for you. If you do not, you can also use your phone to use your timer, because you want to make sure that once again you're not grilling these a little too long. They will get soft, and we want a nice firm hot dog. So I'm putting on my kitchen timer to about 5 minutes since it's already been in there for about a minute. Okay, and great. So we are going to be moving on to the chili portion, which is honestly my favorite part. So I just have here some just typical chili, like some chili that you get at any at one of your markets. This is just Amy's original chili and medium spicy. I like it spicy, so I'm going to be adding more red pepper flakes a little bit later. But yeah, just any typical chili. You don't have to go with this brand. You could also go with like the generic chili that they have there, the vegetarian chili, because luckily the vegetarian chili is basically the vegan chili. So Angie Young asked, what are the hot dogs made from? So I'm going to heat up the chili and I'm going to get to that in just a second. So usually I would like to boil the chili, but I have one pot available, and that's the smaller pot, which is the best pot that I have at the moment. So I'm going to be microwaving this. This is optional. You can use a burner top, just like I'm doing for the hot dogs, to use your or to heat up your chili. But just for the sake of time, I just want to make sure that I am heating up the chili as quick as possible, because the quicker the better sometimes. And not everyone has the advantage of time. So we're just trying to make this a little bit quick. And that's also the best part about comfort food or convenience food, is that it's convenient. So I'm going to be heating up a little bit of chili just because I'm making my own dog right now. I'm probably putting in about 1/4 cup into a little container, and I'm going to put it in the microwave. Once again, you can boil it yourself. I'll be putting in this for about, how about a minute? Why not? And I'm going to be checking on the hot dogs once more. I have about 3 minutes less, but it's probably going to be less than that. Okay, so I'll put this for a minute. And going back to what Angie Young asked, thank you for your question. And once again, hello everyone. By the way, before I get to that, Winifred Wallace, okay, I'm from Silver Spring, so go ahead now, what's up? So Angie Young asked, what are the hot dogs made from? And once again, this is the brand Light Life. So, I'm just going to explain that very briefly as things are cooking right now. I have about 30 seconds left. So it says it's a pretty long list, but there is soy, there's pea protein, tapioca starch, yeast extract, garlic, sunflower oil, xanthan gum, red rice flour, and soybean oil and things of that nature. So things that we can luckily pronounce, but usually, realistically, they are hot dogs. So unless they're carrot dogs, we're not going to know exactly 100% what's in them. So now, chili's done. Woo! I think it popped a little bit. Ooh. No worries, it is all good. So now that it is nice and hot, the vegetarian chili, the vegan chili, I'm going to check on my hot dogs once more. And they look like they're pretty much done. I believe that when they are ready, they float to the top, and it looks like they're floating to the top. So I'm just going to check really quick. I'm being a little ambitious by even touching them, but I just want to make sure. So I'm just going to pick one up and touch them. Yes, they seem pretty done to me, but I will let it get another second in. And while we are waiting for them to fully come to a boil, just to make sure that they're completely ready, that they're also not cold in the center, I'm going to be seasoning my chili. So once again, whatever chili you get is most likely going to be, unless you get a low sodium, which is highly recommended, they're usually very tasty, salty, all those types of things, flavorful. However, I like a little extra flavor. So let's get to that. And what I like to use in my spice pantry is garlic powder, red pepper, because once again, I like it spicy. Some black pepper. I don't have to do the most, but black pepper always tastes good in cookout foods like this, such as chili. And you already know, some Old Bay. Usually I would probably want to use some Cajun seasoning or some slap your mama if you're about that life. But there's some Marylanders in the audience, and I'm a Maryland girl, so I want to definitely use a little bit of Old Bay today, and also some onion powder. You cannot go wrong with onion and garlic powder. It goes in every savory dish. So I'm just going to season my chili a little bit. I don't want it to be too salty, so I'm going to be adding. Oh, and the hot dogs are going to be done. So I'm turning off the heat, and seasoning takes 2 seconds. So I'm just going to put a little bit of garlic powder, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of black pepper, and a lot of red chili powder or red chili pepper flakes. Because even though this is a medium chili, sometimes it's not hot enough. Chili's supposed to be spicy. And then once again, since I don't want it to be too salty, because I like things a little bit more on the low sodium side, I'm going to add a few shakes of Old Bay. And I'll put these away in a second. And of course, we're going to mix it up. Mix it up. This smells tasty. I am excited for this. All right, so now our hot dogs are ready. So I'm going to take that off the burner really quick. And of course, you have to prepare your bun. So I usually like my buns a little bit toasted, but I do not have a medium in which I'm able to do that. So I'm just going to leave it room temperature, I guess you would call it. So I'm going to take out my potato rolls. Nope, it can be any type of vegan hot dog bun. At my local market, they had the potato rolls, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to prepare my plate. So I have my plate right here. Obviously, you're going to open up your hot dog bun. And we're going to transfer the hot dog onto the plate. So once again, you probably do want it to be a little bit more drained, but it is all good. But actually, now that I think about it, if you wanted to, you could even load your dog inside. I like to add a lot of things on top, but if you wanted to, you can start adding your toppings at the bottom, probably your sauces and all those types of things. Since I do like it a little bit more on the top, that is optional for you to do it on the bottom. I just like that the chili is also loaded, you feel me? So I'm going to put my hot dog in the bun. All right, nice and manageable, nice and firm. Awesome. So you can drain them if you want to. But it should be fine. Okay, great. So now, it looks typical, right? Typical hot dog on a bun. No, we're going to go further than that. So before I put on the chili, I am going to tell y'all what the toppings are for today. So of course, you're going to be using your cheese shreds. You can use Daiya, whatever brand is accessible and available and affordable for you. I just so happen to have that in my local market, so I went with that. I have sweet hot mustard. I have some relish. Can't go wrong with that. I have some jalapenos. And I also have some barbecue sauce, because barbecue sauce can go on anything, especially since this is kind of like a cookout meal. Like chili cheese dogs are definitely like a summer food cookout meal. In my opinion, barbecue sauce goes on anything that's cookout related. So we're going to load up our chili cheese dog. Let me just show you everything. So here it is. And I'm going to, let's see. All right, add my chili on top. I actually probably added enough chili to this. Use enough amount of chili. Perfect. I don't even have to use all the chili. Great. Because even though I want this to be overloaded in some sort of way, I don't want to do the most because we have other fixings that are supposed to go on top of this dog. So you could also probably heat up your hot dog in the microwave for a few seconds to melt the cheese. Since the chili is actually already hot and so is the hot dog, I don't mind it just naturally melting that way because Daiya does melt. So I'm just going to add in a sprinkle of cheese, probably like less than a quarter cup. And I added in about I would say a little less than a quarter cup as well of chili onto the dog. So now it looks like we're done, but no, we're not. We're going to be adding a little bit more. So before I add the sauces, I'm going to be adding other fixins. So I'm going to be adding the jalapenos in first. So I love, love, love jalapenos. You can have raw jalapenos if you so choose. However, I love them when they're fermented and in a brine. They just have like this perfect vinegary flavor that goes so good on everything, like pizza, certain wraps, like cheesesteaks, all those types of things. Nachos, so so good. So I'm gonna probably add in about 4 or 5 jalapenos to my chili cheese dog. We're not trying to be fancy here. Put it anywhere that feels comfortable, that it won't fall and be all messy. Because even though this is a delicious meal, a delicious comfort dish, we still don't want to be a little messy. We still want to commit as little mess as possible because it can really go get to that place, especially with chili, no matter what. Oh, thank you, Ray. I appreciate it. Yes, so good. And Dee says, thank you for the comments, everyone, and thanks again for joining. But Dee says, I have tried those hot dogs. I like them, but don't overcook this. They will fall apart if you do. Facts. Facts. And I ain't nobody got time for that because I want to make sure that my hot dog is firm and not mushy. It's a no for me. So I just put in a little bit of relish on top, sweet relish at that, because you cannot go wrong with some sweet relish on a hot dog. Let's be real here. Okay, great. Relish. Okay, so, it's a little overloaded. That's fine. No worries. We're still going to add more, though. And it's still going to be delicious. So we got the jalapenos down. We got the relish down. We also got the cheese on top. And I did also want to add onions. But if I can be honest, onions would be a lot right now. It would be just all over the place. I probably wouldn't even get a bite of one of them. So we're going to stick to the relish and the jalapenos, especially since it's already getting overloaded. So let's move on to the sauces. So I have myself some sweet hot mustard. You could also add some, I wouldn't recommend Dijon, but yellow mustard wouldn't be bad. But I just love adding on to the sweetness to savory type dishes. So I'm going to be adding sweet hot mustard and once again, adding on to the spice. So let's put a little bit of sweet hot mustard on top, just a little drizzle, nothing too much. The reason why is because I'm adding some barbecue sauce and I had to go with the Sweet Baby Ray's. I have a few different brands that I like. I'm just a barbecue sauce person. But yes, this is the brand. So, and it is also vegan. So I'm going to be adding a little bit of, I don't even want to say a little bit, a lot of it of barbecue sauce because once again, you can never go wrong. So now that we have the hot dog ready, hot dog in the bun, chili nice and seasoned on top of the hot dog, we got our shredded cheese, whatever flavor you want. I have cheddar. We have our relish, our jalapenos, and we even have sweet hot mustard and barbecue sauce. So this is what it looks like at the moment. Wow, this looks really, really good. And it's probably not as hot now, but I am going to be taking a little bit of a taste test. I'm not too sure if I'm going to have time to do my Honor Palmer in this segment right now, probably later on in this video, but I'm going to take a bite of this beautiful chili cheese dog. This is exactly what I like them to look like. Nice and loaded, so good. All right, taste test, y'all. Ooh, I don't even know where to start. Y'all. Do I need to say anything? Do I need to say anything? Because this was absolutely delicious. I cannot wait to eat the rest of this. But if I'm still going to be going, now I'm going to be moving on to our spiked Arnold Palmer. So everyone knows.
Actually, Jamila, can we stop you? And
Yes.
yeah, let's have Jasmin make her drink, and then I'll make mine, and then we'll do another cycle again. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, great. All right, Jasmin, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right, great. Take it away.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. So today I'm starting off with my drink, and I'm going to be making a cookies and cream milkshake. I think that's like the perfect comfort food. And for my transitioning people, you think of like the Chick-fil-A milkshake or like the McFlurry. But this is perfect because it's plant-based, no bubble guts, and for all my lactose and free people, this is the perfect recipe. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the ingredients that I'll be using to make this, and then I will assemble it. Okay, so I sort of did it in like 2 portions. So my first portion was like my sweet mixture. So in order to sweeten my milkshake, I just used some whole dates. I used about 6. I used some plant-based milk, some vanilla extract, and some sea salt. I put that in my blender. I blended that all together, and then I'm gonna go grab my ice tray. And then I just poured it in here to make little like ice, like sweet cubes. The second portion, to make like the creaminess, I used some coconut cream. So I just picked this up. You can probably find this at international market. I got mine from Whole Foods. I've seen some coconut cream at Walmart. You can get coconut cream anywhere. But what I did was I refrigerated it upside down, and then I turned it over when it was time to open the can and scooped up the cream. Because when you refrigerate it, it separates the coconut milk from the coconut cream. And what we want is that coconut cream so that we can make this milkshake really good. Okay? So for the sweet cubes, I just blend up my dates and my plant milk, some vanilla extract and sea salt. So about 6 dates, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, about a cup of plant milk, and a dash of sea salt. And then I just poured it into my silicone ice tray and I froze that. And then once I separate my coconut milk from my coconut cream, I went ahead and I put the cream in my silicone on the other side. I'm just going to be using 3 of these sweet cubes and then 2 of the cream cubes. I'm going to go ahead and throw that in my blender with my plant milk. So for this, you can also, if you don't want to use any cream or anything like that, of course you can use ice cream. But I just love using the coconut cream because it's all like whole ingredients. Looks like what you see is what you get. Very simple and to the point. Don't have any extra ingredients into it. So again, just 2 of the cream cubes and then all 3 of my sugar cubes. I'm gonna go ahead and get that blend. I'm gonna pour in my plant milk because I want it to be runny. Okay, so you're gonna blend it until you see everything sort of like coming together and it's just going smoothly. So since I've seen it, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my cookie crumbles to go inside my cup. So I just picked up these Back Nature plant-based snacks. You can use any type of cream cookies, of course, your Oreos or any other type of cream cookies, or really any cookie that you like your choice. So I just went ahead and I crumbled some of these up. So this is what my crumbled cookie is looking like. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take my glass. I'm gonna add a couple of my cookie crumbles at the bottom, and then I'm gonna start layering on my milkshake. So I want my cookie crumbles to be evenly distributed throughout. So I'm just gonna go and put them in stages. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my cookie. This is what it's looking like. Nice and creamy. I'm gonna add a little bit more of my cookie crumbles. And I'm gonna add the remainder of my milkshake. And you guys, this is so good, so creamy, delicious. It goes down smooth. Add the remainder at the top. Go ahead and mix that round raw. Just so that all the cookies are distributed. And I like to add the cookie crumbles in at the last moment instead of adding them to my blender with the mixture, because I still like the cookies to have like some like fullness to it. So you can go ahead and mix that around. You can see the cookie got that classic cookie and cream look coming together. Just keep mixing it until it looks like all the cookies are distributed evenly. And then just for razzle dazzle, I'm gonna go ahead and add the remainder of my cookie crumbles on top. Voila, look at that. And if you want to get a little fancy, I've seen other people do it, where you take some like adhesive food, maybe like peanut butter or frosting, put it around the rim. Usually I use like more of like a shredded glass and put like one like this. You would paste the peanut butter or the frosting around, and then you would add some crushed up cookies to the rim. So like if you're doing like a margarita and you see like the sugar or the salt around the rim, you would do that with any topping that you want. Chocolate chips, sprinkles, cookies, cake, anything of your desire. And then you add some little whipped cream and put a shirt on top, put the cookies on top, or just, layer it and make it seem like like at one of those restaurants that you go to and get like one of those sweet treats. So I'm just keeping it simple today. I just had my coconut cream, my dates, my plant milk, and some cookies. And I was able to create this nice milkshake from it. So let's go ahead and give that a taste. That's good. And with my cookies, I removed the cream because I don't want to be too sweet, because the dates are enough on its own. It's like lightly sweetened. The vanilla gives it the extra. I feel like vanilla gives it like a nice extra creaminess. So this is really good.
That looks so good, Jasmin.
Like
really, really good. Delicious.
mm-hmm.
So I'm going to be making another creamy frozen drink. I'm going to be making a strawberry banana frosty. So I will take over right now and show y'all how I put it together. Really easy, really simply. Okay, so strawberry banana frosty. One of the first dairy-free frozen treats I started eating when I went vegan was Nice Cream, and I love it because it's made from frozen bananas. So bananas are super affordable, and when they get overly ripe, you just put them in the freezer. Now, a lot of people like to peel and slice their bananas in advance before they freeze them, but I'm too lazy for that. I promise. I'm sorry, y'all, but I just don't. So I usually am working with a frozen banana, but over this time of being lazy, I have come up with a pretty good strategy for getting this banana out of the peel when it's frozen. So what I do is I cut off the top and the bottom. Okay, and then I cut it into thirds lengthwise. And this, it's pretty warm in my kitchen. This banana has probably been sitting out for about 2 or 3 minutes, so it's not like brick hard. And then I just cut each third in half like vertically. So it's like got a flat end. And once you do that, the peel comes off super easy. So I just here am taking this. So this is the third banana that I'm putting into my blender cup right now. So I'm using 3 bananas in here because I want it to be, like I said, really, really creamy. I'm also going to go in with about a cup of fresh strawberries, but you could use frozen. It'll give you an even more frothy texture. But I have fresh right now because they're in season. So I thought, why not? And I'm not being shy with the strawberries. So this is more like maybe a cup and a half of fresh strawberries. I'm not going to add too much plant milk, probably like a quarter cup, a third cup of it here. You want enough to get it moving in the blender, but not so much that it makes it super loose. We want this to be super thick. And then to give it that like frosty flavor, we're going to add in a little bit of vanilla extract just to give it that extra creamy flavor. And the bananas are already sweet and the strawberries are tart, but they're also sweet. So we don't need too much extra sweetener, but I went in with about 2 teaspoons of agave nectar. So just like that, I'm going to twist my blade on, and we're just going to blend this for like 30 to 60 seconds. So prepare your ears, but here we go. All right, so everything was pretty soft, so that was really easy to blend up. So now I'm just twisting my blender lid off, and we're going to pour this right into a cup. Beautiful pink color, all natural. It's going to have some beautiful sweet and tangy flavor. Love it. And then just to make it extra special, I have some vegan whipped cream here. It's made with coconut milk, and I picked this up from Trader Joe's. This is my favorite vegan whipped cream brand to buy. You can also make it yourself. You want to keep it extra cold because you see it gets a little looser the more it heats up. And then I'm just going to top it off with a couple more strawberries just to make it pretty. And grab my straw, put it in, and here we go. Super quick, super easy, super simple, so delicious. So this nice cream strawberry banana frosty is so good. If you've been hearing about the new strawberry frosty that they have at Wendy's, but you're vegan now and you feel like you're missing out, no worries. You can make it at home in just a few seconds. So I'm going to keep sipping on this and bring the crew back to the screen. And if you're ready, Jamila, do you want to start making your Arnold Palmer? All right, so I'm going to put you on the main stage and take it away.
It really is just 2 ingredients. You can add as little or as much as you want. But today I'm going to be doing some spiked half and half. So honestly, you could get your own lemonade, you can get your own iced tea, but I just recommend getting some ones from like Arizona because they already have the Arnold Palmer flavor right here. So here you go, just half and half. I mean, whatever you call it is fine. So what I'm going to be doing is putting at least, I would say, less than a cup of Arnold Palmer inside of a nice glass. Boom, this is fine. And I'm going to be putting in a little bit of vodka. So you could use vodka. I mean, if you wanted to use tequila, I'm not someone who's very well versed in this type of liquor, but I am probably going to be putting in like maybe a tablespoon, maybe a little bit more of this Smirnoff vodka. So yes, once again, I got my half and half already prepared because I got the Arizona, and you already know sometimes the Arizona can be really good. And this is a half tablespoon measurement. So I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon and see how that does. So I'm just going to stir it around a little bit. Stir, stir, stir. And honestly, this is super optional because the thing is half and half during the summer is great on its own. But if you're trying to get a little lit or whatever, it's Friday. After all, as long as you're safe and responsible, adding in a little vodka ain't going to hurt nobody. So here it is, my glass of half and half already prepared. Once again, you can get your own iced tea or lemonade and blend it yourself. And a little bit of vodka, just about a tablespoon. So once again, if you want to add more, you definitely can. If you want to add less, even better. So here's a little taste test. Okay, first of all, this is dangerous because you can't even really taste the alcohol. So if I add in too little of a measurement, once again, you can add more, put a little bit of ice in it. Even though I can't really taste the alcohol as much, I'm just going to leave it at that because sometimes it can be really dangerous when you can't taste the alcohol in it. So yes, y'all, 2-ingredient, nice hard drink for the summer, half and half. Mm.
Super simple, super refreshing. That looks really good, Jamila.
I was gonna say it will creep up from you, Jamila. Like it'll be tasting good, tasting like just like juice, and then it'll slowly creep up from you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again.
No, I was saying like the alcohol you were saying, like you don't want to do too much because it will start creeping up on you. Like it tastes nice and sweet and like juice goes down smooth.
Exactly. I'm gonna keep it right here. You know what I mean?
All right, so Jasmine, are you ready to take it away with your appetizer for today? All right, so let me move you into the main screen, and here you go.
All right, so I'm back again, and today I will be making some fried pickle poppers. Now I have to tell y'all, when I came up with this recipe, I wanted to do like the simple, like fried pickle recipe, but it was not doing it for me. I don't know what was going on, but it was just not coming out right for me. And I came up with this pickle popper recipe, and I think it's perfect. So let's get started. So for this recipe, of course, you will need some pickles. I just got the whole dill pickles. I picked this up from Whole Foods, but as you can see, it's just like the whole like mini cucumber pickle type. I have some vegan egg rolls. I picked this up from Walmart, and if you can see, it is the vegan egg roll. I have some plant-based Gouda style cheese. I got this from Whole Foods. You can use any type of cheese that you want. I made some walnut crema, and for this, I just took 2 cups of walnuts, a 1/4 of an onion, 3 cloves of garlic, a dash of salt, a little water. I blended it up, and I have some walnut crema. Okay. And then next, I just made some vegan bacon bits. To make this, I just used some tofu, some firm tofu. I broke it up into very fine pieces. So like when you're doing like your tofu scramble, but even finer than that. I even it out on a parchment paper on a baking sheet. I season it with some liquid aminos, salt, garlic powder, onion powder, just anything to give it like that nice smoky, like balance between like smoky and maple flavor to get like that nice salty bacon type taste. And then I had myself bacon bits. I popped it in the oven at 350 for about 15 minutes or until it was nice and crispy. And I had some easy vegan bacon bits. Okay. So to start these vegan poppers, I went ahead and I scooped out the centers of my pickles. So I cut it in half and I scooped out the centers. So you can just go ahead and eat these because you don't want to get rid of them. They're still good. You're just popping them out so you can use the exterior of the pickle. So I took about 3 of those small pickles. I cut those in half and scooped out the center. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take my walnut crema. I'm going to go ahead and mix in my bacon bits. So that's what that's looking like. And I'm going to go ahead and stir it around. And this is going to be my filling for my pickle poppers. All right. So once everything is well incorporated, you can go ahead and take your pickle, a half of one, and you're just going to go ahead and fill up the inside of the pickle. And once you have a nice amount, you're just going to go ahead and take the even half and pop that right back over. Okay, and set that to the side. You're going to go ahead and do that for the remainder of the pickles. So for fillings, you can do any type of like cheesy filling that you want. You can even take like melt down like some vegan cheese, or you can do some cream cheese. You can even do like a Philly cheesesteak situation. So take some like TVP or some tofu or some walnuts or like any other option that you use for mock meat. Put some cheddar cheese in there, vegan meat, and that can be a filling. Like you can be very creative with the filling that you want. But I want to go for more like a savory, smoky center. All right, so now that I have my pickle poppers, the inside of them ready, I'm gonna go ahead and take my egg roll wrapper. And I will have to say that wrapping items with egg roll paper is a art. So please do not laugh at me if it comes out funny. But I think I've been practicing enough. I should have it down pat. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my pickle popper. I'm going to show you the finished product. I'm just going down the countertop. I'm going to take the vegan cheese, a slice of it. I'm going to layer it right on top of my egg roll wrapper. I'm going to set that down. I'm going to place my pickle right on top. And I'm going to start on the far right corner. I'm going to take that over. I didn't miss the most important step. You got to wet the sides of the egg roll so they can stick together. So I'm just take a little bit of water and place it around my egg roll so they can stick. And then again, I'm going to go ahead and take the corner, wrap it around. I'm going to bring in the two sides. Of course, it's not acting right. And I'm going to just go ahead and roll that. Woof. Y'all, please don't laugh at me. This is what I came up with. I got it right. I've been making this recipe all week. And it turned out. So maybe on this next one, I'm going to get it. Does anybody have any tips about wrapping egg rolls? Let me know. So I'm actually do one without the cheese in it. So again, I'm gonna place my egg roll on the top of my, place the pickle on top of my egg roll, go in the corners, tuck the corners. I don't know what's going on, y'all, but this is very embarrassing. I promise you I had this egg roll wrapping mastered prior to starting this, so hopefully third time's a charm. I'm just gonna go ahead and make one more. Before I start making my last one, I'm gonna just go ahead and heat some oil up on my stove top. Go ahead and turn that on medium high. I'm just putting enough oil to cover the bottom. Of course, you can deep fry it, or if you want to go for like a healthier option and bake it, of course, you can go ahead and get some spray olive oil, put it on a baking sheet with some parchment paper, spray the top, flip it over, spray it again, and then bake it until the outside becomes golden brown. All right, so this is my last popper. I'm going to go ahead and place that on. Give me a second. I'm just trying to concentrate because I really want to get this right for you guys. I'm just folding one corner. I'm going to tuck the sides. Fold one side over. Fold the other side. The corners. Just fold that. I mean, this one is a little better. But I promise you, I made one earlier this week and it looked like an actual egg roll. So I'm just waiting for my oil to heat up. Now I'm gonna just pop these right into my oil. All right, so while I'm waiting for that, I'm gonna go ahead and make a chipotle aioli dipping sauce for it. So for that, I have several different ingredients. So the main ingredient is my chipotle peppers and adobo sauce. I have some Greek yogurt, plain unsweetened. I have some vegan mayo. I have some lemon juice, some paprika, some pepper, and a little sea salt. So what you're doing is going to go ahead and mix all those ingredients together. So it's going to be about a half a cup of vegan mayo, 2/3 cup of my Greek yogurt, all of my double peppers, a small splash of my lemon juice or lime juice, a dash of paprika, dash of pepper, and a dash of sea salt. Let me just go ahead and add all those ingredients. While you're going, just make sure you keep a watch on your egg rolls because you don't want them to burn. So if you're a person that likes like spicy food, of course you can go in and add a little bit more. You can add all of the adobe peppers. If you don't like too much heat, of course go on flat. I'm gonna go ahead and add the whole can. This is about 2/3 cup of Greek yogurt, plain unsweetened. I'm gonna go ahead and add the whole cup of my yogurt. Half a cup of vegan mayo. And of course, season to your liking. So I'm gonna put like 2 dashes of my paprika. Dash of black pepper. Dash of sea salt. All right, and a splash of lime juice. Then you go ahead and blend it together. You're all done with your chipotle aioli. So you see it has like a nice color to it. We go ahead and give that a taste. Has a nice spice, really spicy. So again, if you don't like spicy food, use less adobe peppers. But when I take my egg rolls out of the oil and I dip it in, this is going to be perfect. Because again, you got the smokiness from the bacon, like the salty, savory. You just had the spice from the aioli. It's going to go together perfectly. So when you come back, I'll be putting everything together. Oh, that has a nice kick. Really nice.
All of those flavors sound so good together, Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
So good. And that aioli, oh, I know I love that.
Yeah, it tastes like have you ever had like a Southwest type of sauce before?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right
it sounds
now.
really good.
Yes.
I really appreciate that, like all the ingredients you use in your recipes, Jasmine, you can just find at the grocery store. Like they're actually like whole plant foods, you know, and then you find new ways to like flip really like accessible stuff into like all these different things. Watching you like cook at these happy hours over the past couple months, so very inspiring.
Trying to use like whole foods and then come up with like still healthy, but like again comfort foods. But like you're still enjoying them, but they're healthy. They're benefiting you.
Absolutely, I love that.
That's the best.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to get started showing my preparation for my loaded tater tots. So I will head to the main screen and show y'all what's going on in my kitchen. Okay, so loaded tater tots are what we are going to be making next in my kitchen today. You can see over here I have a whole bunch of spices. Basically, there's tater tots. We're going to be topping it with some vegan cheese shreds. I'm going to make some smoky bacon bits, and then I'm going to show you how to make a super simple and delicious sour cream from tofu. So I have already done a couple things. First off, I just have regular tater tots from the grocery store. So I used about a half a bag of these, and I cooked them in my oven for about 10 minutes at 400 degrees. And then I took them out and I topped them with about a half cup of vegan shredded cheese and cook them for about another 10 minutes at 400 degrees, just so that they can melt down and get like interconnected and gooey and all that stuff. So that is sitting in my oven right now. So I'm going to bring that out when it's time to plate everything. So that is the base of our loaded tater tots. So the next thing that I'm working on here is my mushrooms. So this is my mushrooms. I already added the seasonings to them because I wanted them to start marinating and really absorbing the flavors of the spices that I'm adding. But I used 8 ounces of button mushrooms, and then I just chopped them up into chunks. The thing with mushrooms is when you cook them, they release a lot of water, so they shrink up quite a bit. So this is a decent amount of volume right now, but it's probably going to shrink almost by half. So I'll show you what that looks like here soon. So I have my mushrooms, and what I season these with to get that smoky flavor that kind of compares to like vegan bacon bits is I added 2 teaspoons of tamari sauce. You could use coconut aminos, you could use soy aminos, you could use soy sauce. I personally use tamari sauce because it's gluten-free. So 2 teaspoons of tamari sauce to add that salty, savory flavor. Went in with 1 heaping teaspoon of smoked paprika. I love this stuff. It adds smoky flavor, just like it says in the name to this. So it's going to give it a little bit more depth to the mushrooms and really help them to like caramelize and get some beautiful color. Next up, I added about a half teaspoon of agave nectar. We have some really savory flavors going on in these spices, so I wanted to balance that out with a little bit of agave nectar. Then I went in with about a half teaspoon each of onion salt and garlic salt, just those aromatic flavors that just give everything a really nice flavor. And then this may be a little redundant because I'm using mushrooms, but I went in with this mushroom umami seasoning. I think the label is more visible like that, but I got this from Trader Joe's. They sell this, something like this at Aldi, I think. But basically it's like ground up porcini mushrooms and spices, so just another layer of that savory umami flavor. So then I went in and put about 2 tablespoons of oil into my pan. It's heating up over medium-high heat right now, and I had a couple mushrooms in here just to get everything going. But we're just going to saute that. So the goal here is to cook the mushrooms so they infuse with nice flavor, but also so they release a lot of liquid and start to get even a little crispy around the edges, maybe get a little bit browner. So we have that going on here. I'm just going to spread these into an even layer and kind of just leave them alone for the time being so they can really start to release that liquid and heat up. And because I'm cooking on an electric cooktop, the heat's a little bit lower, so I'm going to crank it up to high. I'll adjust it. I don't want to burn it, but plant foods have such a high water content that you really have to be not paying attention to burn it in a lot of cases. So I'm going to keep my eye on it. It's right here, but I crank that heat up to high. Well, I'm going to give it one good stir just to make sure everything's coated in the oil that's in the pan, and then spread it out in a nice even layer to make sure every piece of mushroom is making direct contact with the hot pan so it can start releasing that excess liquid, caramelizing, getting nice and chewy, a little bit crunchy, and a nice deep golden brown. So that's our smoky bacon bits in the works. Smoky mushroom bits in the works. So next up is time to make sour cream. So yesterday I did another cooking demo and I made vegan mayo for the first time at home using tofu, and it was so simple. And I said, oh, with a few adjustments, I can totally make vegan sour cream at home with just a few simple ingredients. So this is going to be really easy. So what I have here is a half of a block of firm tofu, and I just cut it up into cubes. So this is about 7 to 8 ounces of firm tofu. And this is what we're using today. Obviously, you can use different things if you don't eat soy, like cashews, or I've even used like white beans, like cannellini beans, to use a creamy base. But I thought, let's switch it up today and use tofu because there are so many ways that you can get these nice dairy-free condiments and alternatives without using anything from a cow. And if you have dietary restrictions within the plants you eat, there are adjustments that can be made there. But tofu is easy. And it has a really nice neutral base, but a nice amount of body that it adds. So we're going to add that right on into our blender base. Okay, I'm just going to pour all that in. All right, so let me set this here. Next up, we're going to go in sour cream, sour, tangy, has that flavor going on. So we're going to use the juice of 1 lime. So I'm just going to press it. I like to press it like some people roll, and I will roll too, but I like to go from either end and just like press it with the heel of my hand and put as much weight as I can on it. That kind of breaks up the little, I don't know, the little things inside the lime and helps the juice come out a lot easier. And then I'm giving a nice slow roll, very malleable. So got that. So now I'm going to go ahead and slice this lime in half horizontally. All right. And we're just going to squeeze that right into our tofu in this here blender cup. So it's going to be nice and tangy and bright to counterbalance the crunchy tater tots and, you know, the gooey cheese, savory mushrooms, right? We're going to get lots of different flavors and textures going all at once in this super simple dish. So that's 1 lime. Let's do our 2nd lime. Okay. And I don't mind adding the pulping because it's going to get blended so smooth. So just going to do this here. And our mushrooms are coming along very, very nicely as we do this. It probably will take about 10 to 15 minutes total to get the mushrooms to the texture that we want them to be at. So they'll be probably cooking up until the moment that we plate this up after we see the end of Jasmine's dish. But just be patient, let them do their thing. You're going to get the best texture if you really are just patient and let them release all that liquid that they have in there. So we have our lime juice in here. Now we're going to go in with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. This gives a different kind of tang than the lime juice gives. So we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of this. Okay. That was a heaping teaspoon. Okay, put that aside. Tofu is relatively low in fat. Sour cream is not. If you prefer that, don't add any oil, but I wanted to have a nice luscious kind of texture. So I'm going to add in about 1 tablespoon of oil here. You can use grapeseed oil, avocado oil. I'm using olive oil today because that's what I had because that's what's on sale. So I shop with what's on sale. And then the last thing we're going to add is between 1/4 teaspoon and 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. So we're just going to grind this up right in here. We don't want too much salt. We just want this to come alive a little bit. Tofu has an extremely neutral flavor base, right? So we want to break that up a little bit, give it a little flavor. And I see we got a comment here. Tater tots. Yes, I love tater tots all day, every day. So I'm glad to see other people are into them too. And I mentioned at the beginning of this live that this is kind of like an at-home play on the loaded potato skins that I used to love to get at Applebee's back in the day. So I was like, let's do it with tater tots, make it even easier, still plant-based. So I'm adding about 2 or 3 tablespoons of some unsweetened plant milk. This is almond milk. So I just added that in. I don't want to add too much because I want it to be really thick and creamy. So with all that in our blender, we're going to go ahead and screw this on tight. And for those who haven't seen me do a cooking demo before, I feel like I use the blender almost every time I do a cooking demo. And this is the Beast blender, and it's great. So if you're looking for a new blender, I highly recommend. It has the power of like a high-speed blender like a Vitamix, but it's much more compact. So, I mean, I have a Vitamix too, and I almost never use it now because I love this thing and how convenient it is. So with that said, prepare your ears for a little blending. I don't know if you can see, but while we were putting this vegan sour cream together, our mushrooms have already reduced in size by quite a bit. They've shrunken down to about half, and I'd say they're about halfway cooked. You do want to leave them alone, but you want to be mindful of the heat over here because you don't want them to burn too fast. We did add a little bit of agave nectar, so that is caramelizing. So I started turning it just in the nick of time, but we're getting some beautiful color development here. The texture is transforming for us. So I'm just going to be real patient, turn the heat down, and let this continue to cook. They probably will reduce in size again by another half. And then that's when you know they're ready to go. So the mushrooms are doing their thing. But in the meantime, let's give a reveal of our vegan sour cream. So let's do this. Yes, so this is more of a loose crema. So it came out a little looser. This is more like a dressing texture. So I would say if you want it to be thicker like sour cream, skip the plant milk altogether. Just skip it. You don't need it. But this is a really nice texture. And even as you like chill it in the fridge, it's going to solidify even more. So yeah, let's give it a taste test real quick to make sure all of the levels of everything in here are right. That's sour cream. Delicious. So flavor-wise, it's perfect. Texture-wise, it's more of a crema versus a sour cream. Not as thick, but yeah, just skip the plant milk and you can get that thick and creamy sour cream texture. This is going to be amazing to drizzle over our loaded tater tots once they're all finished. So I am at a great stopping point in my recipe. When you come back to me, I will be assembling these loaded tots. Just let these mushrooms finish cooking a little bit more. But with that said, let's go back to the AVS crew and let's see what's going on. Oh, and Crystal, I see your question. You wanted to know what the name of the blender is. It's called the Beast Blender, like best, but beast, raw. So yeah, I think they sell it on Amazon, but yeah, it's really great. So that's all for me. How's it going over there, everybody? How's it looking in your kitchen, Jasmin? Oh, let's see. Oh, you were muted.
Yep, I said I was all done. I'm ready to go ahead and wrap mine up and show you the finished product.
Okay, perfect. So let's bring you to the main screen and take it away.
All right, so before I left off the last time, I was working on my chipotle aioli, and I turned around and I saw that I had left my roasted garlic that was supposed to go into my blender for the aioli. So I had to put my aioli back in, add those roasted garlic in. So again, the recipe for that was I had my 3 cloves of roasted garlic. I just put that in the oven with some olive oil over that. And I roasted that for about 30 minutes. I let that cool down. I took it from out of the little shell or the shell with the wrapping of it. I popped into the blender. I had 2/3 cups of the yogurt, a half a cup of vegan mayo, a whole can of small chipotle adobo pepper or chipotle peppers in adobo sauce, paprika, black pepper, sea salt. I think that was it. And I blended it all together, and this was the final product. So again, it came out spicy. People that love heat, this is perfect. And again, with my pizza poppers, I'm just going to go ahead and show you the finished product. This is what it's looking like. So again, not the best wrap egg rolls, but I did my best. But I'm sure it tastes delicious. This has a lot of heat in it. My walnut creamer had 3 cloves of garlic and a 4th of onion. That again, that gives a lot of heat and spice to my filling. And then you had the saltiness and the savoriness from the vegan bacon bits. And then again with the chipotle aioli, this has a lot of heat for my spicy lovers. You just go ahead and try that. So here's my egg roll. I'll go ahead and dip that in and give that a taste. Taste the heat. It's delicious. This is what it's looking like inside. And the flavors, so I can talk my mouth full. There's so many flavors in this. You have the walnut cream with the bacon bits. You have like the aged taste from the Buddha cheese. You have the southwestern taste from your chipotle aioli. It's delicious. So that's really it. Nice comfort food. And again, my drink was my milkshake. For the people that out there that's saying milk don't really go with pickles, you're gonna fuck your stomach up because this is not dairy. This is all foods and it all goes together well. So all good over here.
Oh my gosh, I feel you on that because back in the day, yeah, milkshakes used to mess my stomach up.
You'd suffer through the pain because you didn't think there was any other way you could taste something that good. But now we know better, you know.
Exactly,
Now we know we can do it all. Well, those egg rolls are so good. What were you gonna say, Jasmin? Jamila? Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say you were talking about the wrap job on the egg rolls. They look divine.
Oh, thanks, Jamila. I promise you, I did this earlier this week, and I'm like, oh wow, I've mastered, wrapping egg roll. It's just not working out for me.
It's hard. It's hard. It's kind of like with me and bowling. Like, I have to bowl one whole round first to get in the groove. I suck the first round, and then the second round I'm okay. So it's like with egg rolls, you got to mess up a few. Like the first pancake you flip usually is not going to be good. Yeah, that's too funny. Okay, perfect. Well, I'm going to come back on screen real quick to show you how to put these loaded tater tots together, and then we can bring it back together as a group and help everyone enjoy their Friday evening. So here we go. All right, everyone. So I think you can hear my mushrooms sizzling over here. They are ready to go. If I had even more time, I would honestly cook them lower and slower to get a little bit more moisture out. But I tasted this mushroom off camera. The flavors are so good. Such a simple combination of ingredients. Just some tamari sauce, a little bit of agave, smoked paprika, garlic, and onion powder. These mushrooms taste fantastic. So smoky, so delicious. So I'm going to go ahead and start to sprinkle these over our cheesy tater tots. They're all baked up now. The cheese not only melted, but then it got a little crispy too. So we have a great combination of textures there. We're going to go in with mushrooms and get that going. Looking fantastic. Okay. Now I'm going to go in with my crema that I made with just tofu and lime juice and apple cider vinegar, a little bit of salt. So this is actually better for drizzling. Even though I wanted it to be a little bit thicker, this is better for drizzling. So I think that worked out in my favor. All right, so we got a nice little drizzle of our tofu crema here. And now I just have some scallions just to chop it off. They always put scallions on the top of stuff to make it look fresh and bright and appetizing. So we're going to continue with that. And also that nice little fresh oniony flavor is good too. So here is what the loaded tater tots are looking like. Okay, here they go. So delicious. I believe I haven't tasted them yet, but I just feel like you can't lose with this combination. And I'm going to take a little taste, get a little bit of everything on my fork. And it does not disappoint. So good. So good. Yes.
Really I'm a potato person. I love potato anything. So I'm good right now.
Oh yes. God. Jessica, I'm so hating on you right now. Oh, that looks sick. Oh.
Do you have any more of your cheese dog left, Jamila?
I'm not gonna lie, I ate the whole thing.
Oh my goodness.
It was too good to wait.
I know I should have I thought about that, but I had to eat it all, y'all. But that just goes to show that it was absolutely delicious. So definitely try yours out. Try that out today. Nice and simple recipe as well.
Absolutely. So we hope that this little demo just showed to everyone that comfort food, delicious appetizers are not off limits when you go vegan, and you can make them at home in your own kitchen, and it's really not going to take too long. We have some delicious pickled eggplants, cheesy chili dogs, and loaded tater tots, and we made all of these in about an hour. 3 people plus drinks. So you can get it in at home if you want to make one of these or all of these. Be on the lookout for recipes coming to your inbox soon for these dishes that we shared. And we're so glad that you all just tuned in with us and hung out with us this Friday night. I love this little tradition we have of these happy hours once a month. So it's so great to connect with everyone in the comments. We see you tuning in from across the country, different places in the world. We see our regulars who are always showing up. We just love y'all. So thank you so much.
Yes, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Happy Friday.
Same so much. We appreciate you.
All right. We'll see you next month with an all new virtual happy hour. Until then, subscribe to our YouTube channel and sign up for our email newsletter for all types of updates because we have lots of new stuff coming for you, especially for our folks in the Baltimore area. Vegan Soul Fest is back.
Ooh.
Anybody want to talk about Vegan Soul Fest real quick?
I mean, it is a whole weekend. It's from August 19th to the 21st here in Baltimore, Maryland. It's going to be a great time. There are going to be celebrity, not only just chefs, but artists, music artists, great food, just local awesome entertainment. So y'all need to go. For real, for real.
We're gonna be there, so it's a great opportunity to come out and meet us, and we're gonna meet you guys too.
Yes, and we'll also be asking for volunteers to work with us at Vegan Soul Fest at the Afro-Vegan Society tent. So there'll be an email going out with a sign up if anybody's interested. You get free entry, you get some vouchers for food, and you get to hang with the AVS crew and spread the vegan message, talk to people about how it can change their life. So we hope to see you there, whether you come to attend. And if not, we're planning to make our way back into the world as things open up more and more as well. So hopefully there'll be more chances to connect with our folks in California, Pennsylvania, Texas, all the places we see you all shouting out from in the comments. But until then, we will see you next time, everybody. Bye.
Bye.